Alright, hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Alliance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. Friday after work, about 7 o'clock, and is it? A little later than that, no big deal. But rainy day, we're supposed to be a lull. I had some plans, I was going to get some cleaning and fabrication done here, and can't really do that as well as I could with the rain, so I'm trying to make the most of it and do some cleaning inside by taking care of some tool hauls. So, what we're going to do here, we're going to throw down some repeat offenders, alright? We've got, where do we want to start? We'll do this. Okay, we got that. We got this. And we've got this. These are pretty cool. They're from Mayhew. Sadly not made in America, but pretty nice nonetheless. Sort of have the titanium nitride coating. Pretty much a quarter drive sets, right? You've got metric, SAE Hex, and you've got Torx. And I want to say the most used, ironically, has been the metric hex, because I dismantled several like work lights to rebuild them in accordance with the way I would want them to be. I'd only done one initially, and then I showed it to someone, and I think then someone else noticed it, and I wound up having to just fix theirs, if you will. So needless to say, though, the Torx Bits, I think I've done a couple of throttle body sensors, that's about it, but they've been good. I really kind of like the profile, just they've got a lot going for them, right? And subsequently, I think I hit on it probably when we kind of covered those the first time. Got this bag behind me. These prices vary wildly, and I do mean wildly. I sort of waited and waited and waited and kind of walked my way into what I thought was like, okay, that's probably about as good as that's going to get. And both of these were right around the $50 mark with our discounts. Coming in first, we will go with Mayhew's part number 16006. Again, I will link these down below, but I will tell you this. Zoro's very bad. When I record this and edit it and upload it, sometimes it sits there for months or a year, or sometimes it's quicker than that. Sometimes it could be very quick, but the links will be broken. It won't take you there. If you go by the part number, you go by what it is, you should still be able to find it, but sometimes that direct exact link might work and work and work, and then it's just gone. So I can't explain it. That's not me on the back end of those sites. But again, from Mayhew, 16006. This is dual drive. It is an 8-piece triple square bit set. So, throwing that down right here, you can note purple rail. Yes, more colors. Alright, I'm kind of excited to see the purple. It looks like a true, like deep purple. I've advocated for purple for quite some time, and it hasn't happened, so it's gonna kind of be cool to see it actually out in the wild. Set contents, as you can see there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14. So again, 4 through 8, skip the 9, you got a 10, skip an 11, you got 12, skip 13, you got a 14. I am someone that luckily does not have to dabble much with triple square. And I prefer to keep it that way, but every once in a while it happens, and this will sort of have me covered for freak situations. Unique dual drive design allows the bit to be driven by a ratchet, socket spinner, or a box or open end wrench. I might have worded that a little differently, but essentially, right here, you got a ratchet, obviously, makes sense, right? If you had a spinner handle you liked, you could turn it that way, basically convert it to a screwdriver. Similarly, if it's absurdly tight quarters, you could use the open end of a wrench, and if it's just a situation where it's tight quarters and a ratchet doesn't somehow fit, you can snake it down even ever so slightly more and use the box end of a wrench, maybe get a good offset or something to kind of help you out. But as you can see, made in Taiwan. If I find it somewhere, where was it? Right there in the star. That's what we want to zoom in on. That says lifetime warranty. So again, would it be cool if these were made up in Massachusetts? Sure, but nonetheless, pretty proud of them, pretty confident in them, and you get that lifetime warranty. So bottom line, if you pick up a Jetta for one of your kids and you're, I don't know, breaking open a throttle body to clean it, and you crack it off one of these sockets, they've got you covered. And man, that purple is accurate. on that cut. That looks really good. Again, especially with the titanium nitride look, but very, very attractive little things. Again, we kind of covered these rails in details too. That video hasn't released either, nor has the first one, but they're getting close. They're just held back by a snap-on bottleneck. What I like about these, you can see the size printed. You then on the flip side will have the Mayhew logo. If I ripped this one off, it's going to be quarter. I'm going to now go to the big one, and it's also quarter. So let's stick with that 14. Man, that purple rail is legit. Like, if I could get that from Ernst, I would be a happy man here. MTS, anybody? But this is your triple square. Again, if you ever look at this stuff and you wonder, like, what happened to that fastener? Stop. Are you dealing with a German car? It's probably triple square. So, again, did 6 and 12 point bolts and cap screws. Was the world just not good enough? You know, I mean, I don't know. I still turn slotted screws from time to time outside of electrical, where they're still fairly common. But yeah, that little thing looks like a Reese's piece. That is your triple square. So, like I said, I've got friends with Volkswagens and stuff. I'm well aware of them, but it's not something I have to deal with. It's very, very limited. I don't even think I own. Maybe I must have something somewhere in like some cheap set. But yeah, that's the extent of it now. The problem is, we're going to have to do some work here. I'm going to have to flip and invert all of these because I have stylized these to my preference, which is the tab, the lock, whatever you want to call it, on the left. And then I run from small to big, but I like the sizes facing out. I know, particular. We did do some customizing here because these are in the U.S. General Master Tech, the Koken cart, whatever you want to call it. And my theme there is orange SAE, green metric. It doesn't always pan out, but it's relatively close, right? So I think I swapped around and just made that a reality. I don't remember which was which at this point, but hey, it is what it is. And you're thinking like, wow, that's pretty cool seeing that all laid out in front of me. You got like the full set. Not quite. And I I debated this one for quite some time. In part, I kind of wish there was more variety, which is kind of crazy, but I guess they might do it in the future. What are we talking about? It's Mayhew's part number 16002, and it is a 10-piece dual drive Phillips bit set. And you're thinking like, Phillips only, really? Yeah, really. I think, and this could have been released, you know, maybe it'll be released a week or two after I've recorded this. Maybe it's released right before I release the video. I really think they've got something with this dual drive bit set, you know, kind of half-cut, stubby, whatever you want to call it. I would love to see like a more comprehensive bit set. Hashed out, laid out, available, even if they wanted to do standalone or just like, hey, sorry, you can't get it in any way but the set. Just your most frequently encountered things, Phillips Posi Square. I think it would be a winner. But right here, this is what we've got. Again, I'll link it, and the link will be functioning at the time of me editing and writing the description. Past that, I can make no promises, which is why 16002 is going to be your friend. You'll note the blue rail here. Again, same jargon we don't need to go into. You can use a ratchet, you can use a spinner, you can use a wrench, whatever floats your boat or is necessitated. I'm excited to see this one too. I assume this would be, yeah, same shade I'm accustomed to. This is, why? Why is that so much longer than the other rail? What was going on here? I'm not going to complain. I'd rather have like the extra material than, you know, just a loose socket or something. But I guess this, I really don't know, because you can see this would have fit in the confines of all these other smaller footprints. I don't know what went down. Maybe I'll have to do some customization there as well. But there we've got the bits. Again, I hope these are good. The Hex bits have been fine. The Torx I haven't had any issues with, but I haven't exactly used these a ton either, right? They're sort of specialty. In my opinion, something stubby, you want to use it when you need it or it's beneficial, not necessarily daily drive the things. However, if you do daily drive these, have you had any issues? Have you had to, you know, impart the warranty? Feel free to leave a comment down below, help folks out. Right here, though, you'll note It's not just Phillips 1, and this is pretty rare. You very rarely see a number 4 Phillips, so that's kind of cool, just for novelty's sake, I guess, for some people. Number 3 Phillips. Some of you might have like certain rotor screws or some application where you think, hey, that's a pretty stubby, and if I could get some torque on that with like a wrench or a ratchet even, that'd be sweet. Yeah, you're going to get 3 of them, which again, you know, like let's say you were doing a rotor screw for some reason with this, and all your other bits were like chopped up and no good, and this is like, oh, hey, well, I guess I'll try one. And you get a couple of screws out, and then like you flip around to the other side of the car and you just shear one of these bits, you have backups on hand, and then you can deal with the warranty. So 1 number 4, 3 number 3s, that's easy to remember. Number 2, we've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 1, you get 2. So those are your 10 pieces. Again, really nice looking stuff here. I'll have to flip and invert that, and again, I don't quite understand why we got the longer rail for the Phillips set. You know, if it was like a 15 piece and it was necessitated, you know, it was as tight as these confines, I'd get it. And if you're thinking like, well, the box surely was a tip-in, was it not? No. That's why I was so surprised. You know, like if this blue box, keep in mind these are both open, so let me kind of simulate them being shut. I mean, hopefully you trust me, they're the same size, okay? So if the blue box would have been out to here, I'd have been like, oh wow, it's on a bigger rail for some reason. But yeah, kind of an interesting little surprise there. You'll have to let me know if you've been impressed by these. Maybe you bought the Hex or the Torx for tight confines, like, you know, hey, that's actually really cool. I'm going to monitor those, pick them up as the sales or, you know, other orders become available. If you did that, is any of your sets on a longer rail, or are they all the short ones? You're probably asking how short and how long. Well, let's just pop this out for old time's sake. End to end here, kind of at the apex, we're going to call that 6.5, 6,500. I'm sure it's metric, but we're going to roll with that. And then right here, this guy, you can kind of compare end to end, and you're thinking like, okay, it looks like you got like an extra 3 inches or something. This is 9.5, 10, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, 9 inches. All right. So how, why, I don't know. I just show you what I get, and that's all we can cover. So boom, there you go. Coming in right here, let's just get the number 4. It is quarter drive, I can tell by looking at the peg, which means if we wanted to come in here and grab our little Coke and Flex set, apparently the buttons, I don't know what went wrong. There must be something wrong. But they are getting hard to come by, so let's go ahead and zoom in, get you a little closer to the action there. So we're going to take this as well used little quarter drive. Haven't had any issues with mine. I don't know again what the problem is, aside from trying to put something on with a tripod in front of me. No issues. So right there, probably not the ideal way to do this if the screw is tight. There's a good, really neat look at the profile of the bit. Again, I have been impressed by these. They seem to be machined well. The coating is held up on the ones I've used. Again, not anything that I would even say is close to generous use, but in the limited use, when I've selected these, they've been great. I've got 0 complaints. But let's say that you've got this little Koken, dainty little thing, right? And you're thinking like, yeah, this bit's awesome, you know, and I've had a warranty stuff, and it was easy too. And you just shear something off, okay? Or you can't break it free. Here's the deal, okay? We can come in and we can grab low-flying airplanes, right? Jeez. Get ourselves a little bit longer of a ratchet. Now you can kind of see what we're doing here, right? If I had a number 4 Phillips screwdriver laid out, I'm not going to be able to have the bit engaged here. You know, if I did that, the handle is off to this side, right, straight in line with the bit, and I'm limited to the torque I can exert with my hands, right? With this, I'm able to come in, and now I have leverage working in my favor, you know, so break something free, snug something up, you know, whatever it might be. This is infinitely better of an option to have than just a fixed screwdriver in those situations. So that pairs very, very nicely. Again, box end wrench, spinner, take your pick, go to town. You're probably thinking like, man, is that it? Just more Mayhew stuff? No! Here is going to be our next throwdown. know what you're thinking, like, oh, Ratchet's cool. Wait, are those the little Titan Micro Ratchets? They are. And you're probably asking yourself, how come they don't match? Well, here's what happened. I'd been wanting to pick one up. My local parts stores suck. They never have. They have like black and they have the all metal body. They don't have the colors. And I actually at the time had a need for the freaking little thing in part because it comes with 2 half-cut bits. Right? That's a very nice segue to the Mayhew Dual Drive stuff. If you can't tell, let me see if I can do this. This is a standard bit, okay, in my hand, and that is the half-cut bit that comes with your Titan Micro bit ratchet. So, very, very discrete differences, but very, very important in select circumstances. And this little guy, I think it was right around my birthday too, if I remember right. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it, see if I like it. And I needed the bit, and I used the ratchet. But I was trying to be cheap and thrifty, and I put that in the roll cart, same place these are, little Coke and Cart US General. And I picked this one up because, why? It's an orange US General Master Tech, right? And I was rocking it, and I was fine. You know, I use this one very sparingly. Not because it's not. It's always there at the top, waiting to be used. But here's the problem. Like, it's aluminum. And it's not something like I'll come in and I'll put torque on this, okay? I'll put a lot of torque on this. I don't really want to ruin this. Like, I could come in and do it, you know, we could, I mean, you know, I complain this is dainty, but look at the Titan, right? And interestingly enough, that Coke and head might actually, it is. It's a thinner overall profile in the end there, which is cool. How about the Mac? That's totally unrelated to what we're doing, but yeah. Mac slightly inside that yoke radius as well. But I'm just kind of not crazy enough to sacrifice this ratchet for something that I think that might break. Okay, so it sees limited use, you know, kind of like when it's something new or that I know is not like going to be torqued to snot and back, or that I can just cinch up, or the majority of the time I've used it, it's like this until something gets tight, and then I ratchet, and then I fold over, and you get the idea, right? And they were living there in relatively perfect harmony, but I would see that every time. You know, granted, you know, these rails, the multiple colors down there kind of wash it out. So I've got this in a little orange tray up top, and this is what I would see. It's kind of cool because I know that when I grab the orange one, I've got quarter drive roto, and I know when I grab the silver, I've got, you guessed it, the bit drive. It just ate away at me. I can't explain it. Some of you can relate. For those of you that can relate, you know. You know exactly what it was. It just ate away. And I had it on my short list. I held off a long time. And then I just couldn't take it anymore. And on, I believe, a previous Zoro order, I turned in an order for this guy right here. It is Titan's part number 11322. Again, that will be orange. And you're thinking like, oh, I know. You had to, yep, let's just OCD people be pleased. You did that. So now you got the quarter drive roto and you got the quarter drive bit and they're orange. Okay, cool. And now you've got this one as a spare. You can just leave that here. That would be stupid handy on the workbench. I totally agree. But I screwed up and I bought that. And you're thinking like, what's wrong? This is what you needed, the quarter drive Titan bit ratchet, huh? Nope. It's square drive. Yeah. This is one of many items that Zoro just doesn't have like good pictures with. A lot of times they have nothing. I just kind of went with the description and boom, I got this ratchet. So you're like, oh man, that really sucks. It does. And so on the next order, which I believe was all this stuff, I got in Titan's part number 11323. Boom, this one. And you're thinking like, 323. Did you say 22 last time or 23? Wow, I didn't know that was a sealed bag. Is it? No, it's not sealed on the bottom. That's kind of how I wound up with that thing, right? Just slight oversight. There you see, half-cut bits again. Each one comes with 2, and that tells you, yes, this is the one that I meant to order when I bought that. The prices on these vary a lot too. The most frequently produced ones you can usually get pretty cheap. The more common colors, I guess, are a buck or two cheaper. There's nothing crazy, you know, like if orange is your favorite color, you might pay $16 for it, but you could have had blue for $14. They do have that kind of like titanium tungsten rainbow one. I think it's usually pretty high. It's like pushing 25 to 30 most of the time I've seen it. I'm not really interested in that one. I'm fine with orange, blue, and natural. And yeah, so I got this guy. Again, this is a great side-by-side. Let this be a learning experience for you so you don't make the mistakes I made. It's not too bad of a mistake because I got like a backup now, but hey, it was $14 I could have put towards something else. Now, Titan claims, if you note here, they've got a lifetime warranty. I don't know. I guess they do. I've never had to try anything, but I guess technically we could abuse that one now because we have this one. But 11-322, this one, quarter drive, okay? 11-323, it's quarter drive too, but where this says micro ratchet, this says micro driver. So 22 is your quarter drive, quarter square drive that'll hold a socket or these Mayhew bits, right? And when I say bits, I mean those. 11-323 is quarter drive bit. So hopefully that makes sense. It's again kind of unfortunate it happened, but like I said, worse things have occurred, and that's what I did. So I'll pan out so you can enjoy that visual. But yeah, so this guy technically could become a sacrificial lamb. We could really push the limits of this thing, and then go to the Koken, and then go to the Mac, and kind of see what we like. But I have enjoyed it. Again, I'm not going to lie, the quarter bit driver probably sees slightly more use than this, in part because I'm always afraid I'm going to break that thing. But now I've got backup on hand, and I don't even have to sacrifice the color and, have like something screaming at me softly as the contrast in colors goes. I will say the greatest thing about that was I always knew this was the bit one. So if I have these two side by side, I don't know which one's which, right? They're both orange. So you can color coordinate it, or you can color alternate it. So you kind of like, okay, orange is the bit driver, blue is the, quarter square drive. That said, that is what I did. I also, just since I had it on my mind, and I had the page pulled up on Titan's website so I wouldn't foolishly order the wrong ratchet again, I did do this. These are also bagged. Again, what we have here, this is going to be 11-317 on the left. It is clearly the bit driver, and then right there we have got 11-316, which is the quarter square drive. Pretty cool stuff. Again, these look so good. They're not bad ratchets, really, especially considering these are like 10 to 20 bucks, again, depending on the colors and sales and discounts you stack up. But I will say, I wouldn't like daily drive the things, right? It's something more like limited use. Now, this one you probably could. Now, granted, keep in mind, if you've got something you're just really bearing down on, it's not going to go well. But right here, we can take this, and we've got our #1 Phillips, okay? You think like, that's a pretty sweet little setup there, low profile. You can come in and drive it in, run it down, spin it out, whatever you're doing, put the final Titan or what have you on it. Check this out. This is in silver, so it's easily tell what I'm doing. It's got the half-cut bit. The problem with the half-cut bit here is not that it's a half-cut low-profile bit, it's that driver standoff is so pronounced. Next level engineering here would have been to have that recessed into the head of the roto ratchet. Instead of doing that, they've got just a standard right bit holder, and with a standard bit, it's quite tall. It's almost like a stubby screwdriver-ish, and you can see this would make a huge difference having a stubby half-cut bit. But take a look at this, the Mayhew Dual Drive versus a standard bit. And then right here, if I pull the bit of thinks out and we go this direction back with a Titan half-cut, that's what we're working with. That is basically dead even, right? Without measuring and getting the finite stuff, if I do my best to line up, let's go with those for you, that's pretty much the same thing. Now, I do realize both of these are rotos and can flex. And that's actually going to tell me, in my humble opinion, the quarter drive with the dual drive might actually be more compact. I realize that's not like focused beautifully well for you. I don't have my hand available when I'm having to kind of wing it like this. Bear with me, and of course it focuses right as I let go. Fitting. But yeah, if you're looking for like stupid tight quarters, these are both really good options, particularly if you're doing quarter square drive and you want an excuse or reason to pick up some really cool bits from Mayhew. But that's what we did. Again, if you want to see more on Mayhew's dual drive, we made a pretty comprehensive video on them. I am going to check into this rail, see what the heck was going on there. But we did do a follow-up on the rails, which I assume by the time you see this, you should have seen the original dual drives and the original rail. So yeah, that's to look forward to or go back and watch. But yeah, that kind of catches me up with my Zoro stuff. Well, no, it doesn't. But it's close to catching me up with the Zoro stuff. And most importantly, I can get these oriented, get them in the cart, kind of lay everything out, get these two to their new destination that I can't talk about because I learned my lesson with the Snap-on deal, and pair this guy with this one, and this one I truly do think might just stay here on the bench. It just makes a lot of sense when you think about it. There's so many things I do off camera where I have to like pack something and there's screws or something along those lines, or I have to tighten something down or set something up. It kind of makes sense to have a bit ratchet here on the bench, and hey, I can do it. So with that said, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this. If you've used, maybe you didn't know about the Mayhew Dual Drive until that video, and if it came out and you picked them up, what are you doing with them? How do you like them? How often are you using them? Do you reserve them for like situations where, oh hey, if only I had something a little shorter, but wait, I do, and that's kind of their limelight and they've been good? Or is it like, man, I love these things, I'm going to use them all the time, I keep them in the top of my box and they're just there so they get used all the time? How have they held up? Any issues with breakage, wear and tear, fitment problems? Any real world feedback, always appreciated. Similarly, if you love these things and they've either been great or terrible, but you've used the warranty, how did that go? That's very important for people to understand in advance as well. And yeah, that's about all I've got for you. So hope you enjoyed, hope you learned a little something, maybe got some ideas for yourself. Tell me, could you have lived with this clashing contrast in your toolbox? How long would you have lasted? Would it not phase you? Would it just be the convenience of color square, this bit? Or would you be like, I've got to have it match, and you just can't take it anymore and you run out immediately and correct the situation? I lasted a good bit, but eventually I caved. And good news for you, we got a tool haul out of it. So yeah, can't wait for you to see where these wind up. And then, like I said, I've got a backup square drive, which is cool. That's the one I'm most likely to break anyway. And with that said, we're done. I think we've covered it all. So LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you have not subscribed, I encourage you to do so. If you do that, you ring the bell, you jump your Charger across the creek while wielding your orange anodized Titan Micro Quarter Drive Ratchet with Mayhew Select Dual Drive Bits. YouTube just might notify you we got new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, thanks so much for watching, and I hope I catch you back here for more from the shop.